Hi guys, just an old guy learning Spanish here. Hola chicos, solo un viejito aprendiendo español aquí. Hi, I'm Barry, I'm 77 years old, and I enjoy languages, so I'm trying to learn Spanish. And also, I'm trying to improve my brain or prevent a cognitive decline, and I consider this to be a very good exercise to forestall that.
Quiero prevenir el deterioro cognitivo.
I watch movies and TV series in Spanish, with Spanish subtitles, and I read books in Spanish. I almost forgot to mention one of the most important ways to learn Spanish is through Spanish podcasts. Today we're going to read a part of the beginning of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter y la Piedra Filosofal. So let's get to that right now. Let's go to a device I like to read on. It's the Kindle Reader. It's in this Spanish folder up here, tucked on my iPhone here. And I'll hit the center icon, which is the Kindle Reader. I come up with that, La Piedra Filosofal, and we'll start reading. So I'm going to highlight each part that I read, and this is pretty obvious that this is Capítulo 1. And let's highlight the next one. And this is, I want to highlight this in pink. It's el niño que sobrevivió, the boy who lived, el niño que sobrevivió. Let's highlight the next, and I'm stopping at normal punctuation points where the thought stops or pauses at this comma here, and we'll highlight this and make this orange. El señor y la señora Dursley, Mr. and Mrs. Dursley, que vivían, that lived, and el número 4, number 4, de Privet Drive, that lived at number 4, Privet Drive, estaban, let's highlight that first so we know where we are, and I'll go down to the period here, and I'll highlight this in yellow. Estaban orgullosos de decir, que eran muy normales, afortunadamente. Estaban orgullosos, they were proud, the plural adjective proud. Orgulloso is the singular. Orgullosos, it means both of them were proud. De decir, to say, de decir, que eran muy normales, that they were very normal. Afortunadamente, fortunately. Let's highlight this. This particular sentence goes to the other page, so let's highlight that in blue again and go back. Eran las últimas personas que se esperaría encontrar. I read the whole sentence first. Eran las últimas personas que se esperaría encontrar relacionadas con algo extraño o misterioso. Porque no estaban para tales tonterías. Eran las últimas personas, they were the last persons, que se esperaría, esperarse means to expect, say, that you would expect, that one would expect, it's a conditional. So it's, eran las últimas personas que se esperaría encontrar, that you would expect to find, relacionadas, in relation to, in other words, I would say mixed up with, con algo extraño, with something strange, o misterioso, mysterious. ¿Por qué no estaban para tales tonterías? Because they weren't into this stuff. They weren't into such idiocy. Porque no estaban para tales tonterías. Porque no estaban, they weren't for, no estaban para, they weren't for, tales tonterías. Let's highlight the next sentence, or phrase. We'll go down to this period here. We'll highlight this a color of pink. El señor Dursley era el director de una empresa llamada Grunings, que fabricaba taladros. El señor, Mr. Dursley, era el director, was the director, de una empresa, of a firm, a business, llamada, called Grunings, or named Grunings, que fabricaba taladros, that made or fabricated drills. Let's go on to the next sentence. We'll go to this comma here and highlight this in orange. Era un hombre corpulento y rollizo. Well, it's pretty clear. He was a corpulent man, and rollizo, I think, means plump. But with this reader, I should show you how this works. You can highlight this, just the phrase we want to know. Let's highlight that. Okay, and then we can look it up here. Now, this might not happen in other phones, but it works in mine. So let's try that. And it says corpulent and plump, so we were right. That's something you can do with this reader here. You can look words up on the fly, which is very, very, very good. And we'll highlight the next section. Casi sin cuello. Mr. Dursley. Casi sin cuello means almost without a neck. Casi sin cuello, without neck. Casi sin cuello, almost without neck.
Chicos, I had to break in here and correct the pronunciation of cuello. I pronounced it cuello. It's cuello, like with a Y. I was reviewing the video before publication. I had to jump here and correct that. So back to our video.
Aunque con, although with, un bigote mustache inmenso, large mustache. Okay, next. La señora Dursley era delgada. Mrs. Dursley era delgada, thin. She was also, let's highlight the next sentence, the next part of it anyway, a little bit you will, down to this comma. La señora Dursley era also rubia. Delgada y rubia. Actually, she was La señora Dursley era delgada, rubia, y tenía un cuello, and she had a neck, casi el doble de largo de lo habitual. Almost twice the length of a habitual neck, a normal neck. So almost twice the length of a normal neck. And then we'll highlight the next part here, which, well, let's go beyond that comma, down to the end of the period here in vecinos. Loque, well, let's highlight it first, sorry. Let me see, the last one was orange. Let's go to yellow. Loque, which, having a large neck, un cuello casi el doble de largo, lo que le resultaba, which resulted in, or resulted in, lo que le resultaba, which turned out to be muy útil, very useful, muy útil, ya que, since, pasaba or past or spent, ya que since she spent la mayor parte del tiempo, the most of her time, the major part of her time, la mayor parte del tiempo, estirándolo, stretching it, por encima de las vallas. Por encima de las vallas, over the top of the fences, por encima the top de las vallas, fences, de los jardines, which is the yards, could be gardens too, but la mayor parte del tiempo estirándolo por encima de las vallas, fences, de los jardines, yards, para espiar a sus vecinos, on her neighbors. So lo que le resultaba muy útil, ya que pasaba la mayor parte del tiempo estirándolo por encima de las vallas de los jardines para espiar a sus vecinos, which turned out to be very useful, because she spent most of her time stretching it over the tops of the fences to spy on her neighbors. Los Dursley, Let's highlight that. Los Dursley tenían un hijo pequeño. Un hijo pequeño. Los Dursley, the Dursleys, had, plural, tenían, un hijo, a boy, a little boy, un hijo pequeño, llamada.
Of course, it's llamado, not llamada, because Dudley, porque Dudley es un chico, un muchacho.
Dudley, called or named Dudley. Y para ellos, and for them, y para ellos, no había un niño mejor que él. And for them, there was no better boy than him. He was fantastic. So los Dursley tenían un hijo pequeño, little boy, llamado Dudley, called Dudley. Y para ellos, for them, no había un niño mejor que él. Había is the past tense of I, meaning there is, there are. So, and y para ellos, no había, there was, it's the past tense, there was, había un niño mejor que él. Okay, let's highlight the next sentence. Get rid of that. I wish I could get rid of that. Let's go up to here, and we'll highlight this in pink, and go back. Los Dursley tenían todo lo que querían. The Dursleys, tenían, had everything, todo lo que, everything that they wanted. Querían. Querer means to want. Los Dursley tenían todo lo que querían, pero también guardaban un secreto. Guardaban means to keep, to guard, guard a secret. Pero también also, guardaban, kept a secret, had a secret, guarded a secret, un secreto. Let's go we'll do this last sentence and then we'll wind it up here for today. Y su mayor temor, y su mayor temor, their major fear, their main fear, temor is fear, era que lo descubriesen. Lo que era que lo descubriesen. And their main fear was that it would be discovered. People would find it. And fear, by the way, let's make a note of this. Fear triggers any emotional thing before the verb, which is descubrir, triggers a subjunctive. So su mayor temor era que lo descubriesen, that it would be discovered, the secret. No habrían soportado que se supiera lo de los Potter. No habrían soportado que se supiera lo de los Potter. So that's a difficult one. No habrían soportado que se supiera lo de los Potter. So let's do it. Let's introduce you to another thing here. And I'm gonna copy that. Then I'm gonna go over to ChatGPT. This is an app you can download. And I pay for it, but you can get a free version that has a limited number of times you can consult it. I'm going to say, Mark, I'll paste that there. And we'll see what he says, or it says. You can read this. So we have the actual translation here. Yeah, that sounds pretty good, but let's see what he says natural sounding is. They couldn't have handled people finding out about the Potters. Anyway, that's a tool you can use, and that's what I use when I have something I can't really directly translate or even grok the meaning of, if you know what grok means. Totally understand the meaning of it. So I just use that as an assistant. Very useful. So, y su mayor Let's go back. Y su mayor temor era que lo descubriesen. And their main fear was that the secret would be discovered. Lo is the secret. No habrían soportado que se supiera lo de los Potter. They couldn't have handled it if people found out about the Potters.
Okay, chicos, there you have it. Let's wind it up with a quick recap, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.
Capítulo 1. El niño que sobrevivió. El señor y la señora Dursley, que vivían en el número 4 de Private Drive, estaban orgullosos de decir que eran muy normales, afortunadamente. Eran las últimas personas que se esperaría encontrar relacionadas con algo extraño o misterioso, porque no estaban para tales tonterías. El señor Dursley era el director de una empresa llamada Grannings, que fabricaba taladros. Era un hombre corpulento y rollizo, casi sin cuello, aunque con un bigote inmenso. La señora Dursley era delgada, rubia, y tenía un cuello casi el doble de largo de lo habitual, lo que le resultaba muy útil, ya que pasaba la mayor parte del tiempo estirándolo por encima de las vallas de los jardines para espiar a sus vecinos. Los Dursley tenían un hijo pequeño llamado Dudley, y para ellos no había un niño mejor que él. Los Dursley tenían todo lo que querían, pero también guardaban un secreto, y su mayor temor era que lo descubriesen. No habrían soportado que se supiera lo de los Potter.